Yo, what is good, guys, and welcome back to another Chippy video. Now, today I've got something like kind of like different from my channel. I don't usually make this content, is what I mean. Um, Very original idea, but today I'm going to be ranking all of the Legend of Zelda games in a tier list. Now, I was recording a Super Mario 64 video, and I stopped playing it early because it made me mad. um, yeah. So I was thinking that I feel like I have some decently controversial Legend of Zelda opinions that I personally think are good opinions. Today we're going to talk about them. And yeah, so before we get started, let me get into the rules. I cannot put in my opinions on a game I have never played. And when it comes to the N64 and 3DS remakes and just remakes in general, I'm going to put them as like one game. So if you don't see me rate like The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX, but you see me rank The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Switch, it is not because I forgot about it. It is because I'm putting them together as one. Putting the remakes as the main one because I feel like that's just better, obviously because of graphical upgrades and quality of life improvements. Yeah, so let's just get straight into it. Now, already, I'm going to skip Breath of the Wild because there's a reason why I'm going to skip Breath of the Wild. I'll get into that later. But Link's crossbow training, um, I've never played it. I know what it is. It's the one game that uses that weird Nintendo Wii crossbow Wii controller add-on. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. So I actually realized I don't think I've played a lot of the Zelda games. Well, I played a decent amount of them, but you know what? It'll be fine. Next, The Legend of Zelda Four Swords Adventure, and I'm gonna put Four Swords in there with it because I've never played them. One, they're on retro consoles only. I think. Well, actually, I think The Legend of Zelda Four Swords and Four Swords Adventure might be on NSO, the emulators, but I don't know. I don't think I don't have anyone to play with. That's a problem, and I don't think you can play them by yourself. Yeah. So on to the next one, Hyrule Warriors. Finally, we get into one I have played. Um, Let me think about it. It's a Dynasty Warrior spinoff. It's not canon to the actual Legend of Zelda series, but it is a decently good game. I'm gonna put it in okay. It's a very specific type of game for a very specific type of player. Like if you like Dynasty Warriors and you want to be introduced to the Zelda franchise, that's a great game. Or if you're a Zelda fan and you want to try out something like a different genre of game, great game. Otherwise, I don't suggest it. It's a hack and slash game where you just fight off hordes of enemies and you get to play as characters from across the Zelda franchise. Like I said, it's not canon, and well, they're missing some games here. You know what? I'm gonna rank the ones that are here, and we'll just go from there. The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. For the 3DS, I don't know. I'm stuck between really good and okay. Because here's the thing. I remember I was in the middle of a playthrough of this. I was actually near the end, and then I sold my 3DS. So I never finished it, but I have played a good portion of it, and it was really good. I did enjoy it. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like the whole renting items thing and stuff like that is just not for me. I don't know. I think I didn't like that mechanic. A lot of people praise the game for that, but I don't know. We'll put it in okay above Hyrule Warriors. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that one cuz a lot of people really like that one. Yeah, on to the next one, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Do I really have to say anything? It's not absolutely peak, but it is still really good. It is more of the difficult Zelda games. I feel like, uh, I don't know. I feel like this game is a lot harder than the other Zelda games. It's just I don't know. It's Link to the Past. It's very great nostalgia trip. The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. Do I need to even say anything? Come on, it's Majora's Mask. What is that one? I can't even see that. Oh, Ocarina of Time Master Quest. I'm gonna put that one with Ocarina of Time because I mean they put that in the Ocarina of Time 3D. So we'll come back to that. The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. Now I'm in the middle of a playthrough of this right now, and honestly, so far it's been a decent game. Nothing too special. Like nothing. Well, I mean, I guess, and I think his name's Enzo. The hat's name. I don't know. I like the shrinking mechanic, but I am stuck on a part of it right now. I don't know. I'm not that far into it. You know what? I don't think I've played enough of it to give a complete rating, so I'm just gonna put it on never played. Okay. Here's where we get to one of my controversial opinions. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. It's just okay, man.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I don't know. Like, I get why people absolutely think it's the best game in the series, but to me, it just doesn't hit the same as it does to other people. I don't understand. Like, I'm in the middle of a replay of it right now on NSO. But, like, I don't know. It's just never stuck with me. This game has just never stuck with me like other specific Zelda games have. And, oh, hold on. Sorry about that. Really good story. Like, absolutely amazing story. I will give it that much. But other than that, nothing really. There's nothing special about it to me that I just need to put it in absolutely peak. Like Majora's Mask, it's a direct sequel to it, but it just does everything so much better. The masks are such a cool addition. How you get different abilities from the different races of Hyrule, like the Deku Scrubs, the Gorons, the Zoras. The story in Majora's Mask was absolutely amazing. I don't know. People are going to be mad at me for putting A Link to the Past above Ocarina of Time. Well, actually, I think most people might. That might not be controversial, but there are some other games that I know will be that'll make people upset. So, on to the next one. The Oracle games. They are on NSO, but I have yet to play them. I haven't played them yet, so yeah, I have nothing else to say. The Legend of Zelda: Phantom Hourglass. I've played this once on my cousin's DS. I have no memory of it, so I'm going to put it same with Spirit Tracks. I'm going to put those both in haven't played because I've heard from people that they're okay at best. They're just mediocre because, I mean, obviously they were made for the original Nintendo DS, so they didn't have the analog stick yet or anything like that. So you had to move the stylus and the touchscreen. But yeah, so I don't know. I've never played it. Do I want to play them? I don't know, to be honest. Like most of these other games I do plan on playing. But yeah, so okay. The Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword. I'm putting that one straight to absolutely peak above Majora's Mask, above anything else because holy shit, bro, this game is so fucking good. From the storytelling to the gameplay, the items and the dungeons, and it's just such a memorable, and there's so much replayability in my opinion, even though it's like the same linear story. Now, I know people dog on this game because you have to go back to the same 3 areas millions of times, which it does get kind of a drag, but at the same time, bro, it's just something about this that keeps me hooked and that keeps me wanting to play this game, which I love that about a game. Another thing is the story. Like all the characters have so much character and they have so much personality, and this game is so emotional at times, and that's just not something that other Zelda games give to you. And especially considering this is the first in the timeline, like this is the canonical first Legend of Zelda game. It's just so good, man. Like I don't know, it's so good. Legend of Zelda: Triforce Heroes. Mid. I think everyone can agree with me on that. It's just mid. Okay, The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess. I think, personally, I do think this is really good. Better than Ocarina of Time, yes. I don't know if it's better than A Link to the Past, though, because this is what I wanted Ocarina of Time to be. Everyone's saying that this is just an Ocarina of Time remake. I mean, it's got the same basic ideas as Ocarina of Time, but it's just so much better. Like the art style, for one, I like that a lot more. And the whole wolf aspect and Twilight Zones and Zant as a character. This game could have been absolutely peak, but it just had to go back to Ganon and Zelda in the last like hour of the game. So for that, it's going to stay in really good. But otherwise, this game is great. I don't know. I love this. The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. That's going straight behind Skyward Sword, and there's this very specific reason I have it up there, because I know the Zelda fan base is very divided on this one because of the art style. But this is the very first experience I've had with The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. I remember the exact moment I played this game. It was the very first Legend of Zelda game I've ever played. I was at one of my parents' friends' baby shower, and all the kids were locked. Were forced to go. We weren't locked. Like, we weren't forced to go into it either, but all the kids were hanging out in this little room with a TV in it, and they had a GameCube there. And they booted up The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, and I remember playing the Forsaken Fortress for the first time, and I just knew, bro, I needed more of this. I was like 6, 7 years old. Dude, it's such a good experience, man. I don't know. It's such a good game. The Zelda 2, Adventure of Link, never played it. The Zelda CDI games, I've never played them, but from what I've heard, they're absolutely dog shit. And okay, The Legend of Zelda, the first one, I've played it. I gotta show it some respect. It's okay. It's an okay game. Does it hold up today? Absolutely not. It is such a terrible game in today's standards. But back then, it was revolutionary, and it's also the very first game that started it all. So for that, I'm gonna have to give it okay. Otherwise, I'd give it mid. It's literally the only reason I'm putting it in okay is nostalgia. And I don't see Link's Awakening, the Switch remake, on here, so I'm gonna have to rank Link's Awakening DX, which is kind of crazy considering I use that as an example for my rules at the beginning of the video. Link's Awakening, I've never played it. Just simply have never played it. And now we get to Breath of the Wild. This one is going to make a lot of people mad. It's just okay. Breath of the Wild is just okay. And I personally think that the old Zelda formula with the dungeons and the linear storytelling is a lot better than what Breath of the Wild tried to do. Breath of the Wild is amazing on paper. I get that. It's such an amazing idea for the Zelda franchise. It just didn't do it right. The world just felt too empty, and they got rid of dungeons. They could still keep dungeons. They could have still kept that. Like that, just make it to where you could choose which one to go to. Like, for example, in Ocarina of Time, you had to get the 5 medallions. Like, have a similar concept in Breath of the Wild, but you get to choose which medallion you get first and stuff like that. I don't know. I just think this game it's so, I just didn't like it. I've played it once, and the last time I played it was like 2 years ago. And same thing for Tears of the Kingdom. Like, I was so excited for that game to come out. I had so much faith in it, and it just didn't deliver on it. Like, I got to the 3rd dungeon, and I just stopped. Because while Tears of the Kingdom did bring dungeons back, it was the same thing over and over again. Finding the 5 things and using the dungeon legends, whatever they're called, powers to activate them. And then the bosses were cool. I'll give you that much. The bosses were cool. But the dungeons were all the same thing over and over again. I just didn't like it. In Breath of the Wild, I mean, I guess the ending was cool. The final boss, Ganon. The horseback ride was sick, in my opinion. Otherwise, the whole game just kind of just okay. Fun game on a car ride, though. I will say that. And with that, we have my Legend of Zelda tier list. I feel like this is a pretty controversial tier list. But, I mean, once again, this is all just my opinion. So don't attack me for it in the comments. Yeah, tell me what you guys agree with. Tell me what you guys disagree with. And I guess that's that. If you enjoyed, leave a like. If you're new, subscribe. And don't forget to turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload my next video. If you're a dedicated subscriber to the channel, you can join my channel. It is next to the subscribe button, and the options are pretty cheap, and I'd say they are worth it. Yeah, in other words, peace.